In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Hello and greetings. This is Muhammad Suleiman Ahmadzai, here with a new session for you, my friends. Look, the things left here are very simple. Before this, I worked on the fourth tab once. The fourth group is related to the home tab. In the previous lesson or yesterday, I had told you something. Well, since it wasn't included in the video, I'll tell you about it again. We worked on something in the alignment tab section here. We explained how to set the tab points. Then later, after we stopped the video, I told you that we can do these things without that as well. Because it was included in the video, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'll say it again. Look, we worked on this and said that if we want to select the tab point by degree, for example, we would select a degree. After that, we would click OK, and here an indicator would appear, and whenever we click the tab with the mouse, the tab would directly accumulate by that amount for the spin removal. Now, we take the dark over there, and if we want to clear one, we do it. If we want to clear two, we say so. Another way was that we could also set the other tab point. It was like this. We would just click directly on our own degree. For example, we say one tab point by simply clicking. See here, an indicator appeared, and we would click again at 4. Now, there's no need to go over there anymore. Now, when the text says name class fee, by simply clicking directly, our cursor collects just that much. We can create this spot here, either like this or to spin it around. Again, we have to go back there and clear it. Well, this was what was left from the previous lesson. Look, in the Home tab, the fourth category is called Insert. Insert means to put in, to add, or things like that. It mostly means to add or insert. Like import or to deposit, meaning if we want to bring something into a page. For example, if we want to insert a picture into the page, or a drawing, or a date, or some items that are not part of or outside the Word program, like items related to Office programs, designing, and some other things, we can also use the Insert category. The first section is called Picture. If we want to insert a picture here, we click on the upper part. We want to insert the picture by clicking on the picture. Look, go to the address where you have a picture, for example. But let's say, for example, we're on a computer where there are no pictures at all, you haven't put any pictures yourself. Still, we can use the pictures that are already on the computer. In previous versions of Windows, we used to have a lot of folders with pictures, but in Windows 10 and Windows 11, there are only a few folders that contain pictures. Okay, I'll tell you the addresses of a few pictures that we have here. After you go to this PC, then to local drive C, you'll find a folder called Windows, and one level below that, there's a folder called Web. When we go into the Web folder, you'll see that there are pictures inside all of these as well. For example, we have a few pictures in this folder. There are a few pictures inside these too, and there are a few pictures inside these as well. For example, in the flowers, there are several pictures of flowers. In the Windows, there are Windows pictures, and basically, these are the same images used for the background. So, at night, we can use one of these pictures as an example. By default, these pictures are available on every computer. Otherwise, we can go to the folder where we have our own pictures, the ones we've taken ourselves. For example, on the desktop, I have a folder called Animal Patch, and I select a picture from there. We click Open for it. So what happens to that picture directly here? It opens up. When you open the picture, this part here is called the sizing point. This one is called the vertical sizing point. From this point, we can adjust the width and height of the picture, or decrease the width of the picture. This does the same thing for you. This one is also called the vertical, this one is called the horizontal, and this one is called the vertical sizing point. We can do the same thing from here as well. Again, those points you see are right there. These are called skew points. Skew points are also for width and height, for both of them. That means when we shrink it, both its width and its height get reduced. But if we use these, they only affect either the width or the height, and in the end, the whole thing is called the sizing point. Horizontal, vertical, and skew points. For example, if we want to tell Ahmadzai that instead of this picture, well, let's say we have a picture, if we want to shrink or enlarge it, we use these points. Sizing points. But there are also other methods without using these. Another way is that here we have an option called Resize Picture. When we click on Resize Picture, it asks us how much the horizontal and vertical should be. We select based on percentage. The picture's size, for example, is 89% horizontally, its width, and 89% vertically, its height. Now it shows the horizontal and vertical values. Try to also say, for example, make these 50% for me. It automatically reduced itself by 44%. When I click OK, I want it to reduce its width. Its height also got reduced along with it. Now, if we want to tell it that we want to increase its height again, For example, make it 70%, then its width will also increase. The reason this happens is because in this section, the mistake we made is called lock aspect ratio. If this is on, it always keeps the width and height linked together. If it's off, then they're not connected anymore. For example, here it says, I just want the width to be 30% without making any changes to the height. Or vice versa, I can tell it that I want the width to decrease vertically without making any changes to the height, or for example, to only change the width. We can work separately on either the width or the height. If there are two stars, it means both are off. Without changing the size, these tasks would be done using Gladim. If we want to, for example, insert another picture, just like before, we can come here to the picture and select a different image. But if we tell it that no, I wanted a different picture in this spot, that is, to replace it, so that there won't be another picture below it, replace that one. Again, what do we tell it to do? Change picture. When we come here and select a picture from the menu, it actually replaces the existing picture with the new one, keeping the same size as the previous image, without inserting a separate new picture. We press the shortcut keys, which are Alt, H, P, P, one after another. P, I. After that, again, it's just text. P stands for picture, G is for change picture, and R is for resize. Or, if we don't want to press the PR keys, we can use the arrow keys instead. You just do it like this again, and the action is performed directly. After the picture, we have something called Paint Drawing. This opens Microsoft Paint. The next software we want to open after this is a basic drawing program. If we want to open it for you, again, we can open Paint just by clicking on it. And there, we create a drawing again. We bring the drawing here again. So instead of a picture, we can bring in a drawing. Here, when you come, you can easily create a drawing. For example, you can make any drawing you want. I press Ctrl+W. The first thing we do is enlarge the page size, and for now, for example, it's at 100%. I'll set it for this. Let's make it 2.5 times bigger for now. So I'll set it to 250, or maybe I meant Smith. Whatever I changed, its length also changed. We confirm this. See, the image also became 2.5 times bigger. We could have done this using these points. We can enlarge it a bit. I wanted it to be exactly 1 time bigger. I chose it myself. From here, you can draw any kind of shape you want. For example, I'll create a rectangle. I'll draw a shape. Let's make it big. For example, in the WordPad program, Paint's job is also just drawing. Here we have a curved line. We take a straight line and a curved line. For example, we draw a shape. A curve, as its name suggests, is flexible when you draw it. Again, I'll draw another line. Overall, it's a drawing program. That means whatever you draw, it doesn't matter. We create an explosion. The line tool and even the line tool itself is there. When we select the closed brush. So what happens to this picture? It directly transfers it here. Sometimes it's the computer unit that shows a problem. It doesn't show the whole picture. Either we resize it or come here. If we reduce the size from these points, it will be fixed. Or we can go to the View menu to tag View. In this section, if you set wrap to ruler to a larger page, set wrap to window for the brush, because that's how much space we have. When we set it to wrap to window, the boundary goes up to the screen line and the space becomes larger. Let it show the full picture there. Now, on that page, you see, it shows the full picture on that page. Because I said, if the page is too big, just drag it down a bit and it will be fixed again. So, if you see this problem, you can just do this to fix it. Well, without us having to draw, there's another feature in the Paint program. For example, if we bring in a picture, we can't write on top of the picture. If someone says, write something on the picture. Now, if we try to select and write something, it gets deleted because it can't write properly. You can do this quickly in Paint. In Paint, you bring it here and paste from. You select a picture and then you write on top of the picture. For example, you can write something in this part of it. Like, for example, cute. Now, let's say we close and save the picture. But if we do this completely, you see, when we click, it sorts itself out, but it doesn't work on every computer. With closing, you come out like this. Now we see, we have text, we have a picture with text on it, which we can do with the Paint program. After this, you know its shortcut. If we press Alt+H+W, it does this action. You press Alt+H+W, and besides that, you can also use another shortcut if you know it. There's also Ctrl+B. If you want, I can open the Paint program for you directly. We have it. For example, we use this so that the date and time appear on our page. Sometimes when we take notes, either at the bottom or at the beginning, we have the date and time based on the computer. Our computer's date is 2024. The benefit is that the formats are different. Which format do you want it to be in? Should it show day, month, and year? Or maybe day and month and then year? Or year, month, and day? Or maybe have it written out completely? Like Friday, October 11th, 2024, in full, or just the time alone. You pick one option. There are different formats, but we'll just set one date for all of them. Or the text continues above or below it. Its shortcut is Alt+H+D. What does object do? For example, if we want to do things that other programs can do, we can do the same thing there and transfer here. We'll understand what features Word has. What features does Excel have? What features does Photoshop have that Word can't do? Again, we can go through Insert Object. Go there and create it there. Then bring it here. So when we click, it asks us at the top which program you want to use to create something. One option is Create New. Another option is Create from File. Create from File means if we've already made something in that program before, we just bring the file in. Where do we work on it later? We say no. But if we want to make something new, Create New, the name says it all. Okay, it asks, which program do you want to create? This list is different depending on the software. For example, if you have Photoshop installed on your computer, it will show that. If Corel or Premiere is installed, it will show those too. We don't have those installed on our computer. It only shows what's installed, like Office, Word, and Excel. For example, PowerPoint and things like that. Basically, it shows you these. If you select a design program, it will show that too. Again, you pick a program. Suppose I choose Word from here. Then, after we click OK, it will open us in the Word program. But whatever you do in Word, when you click Close, it will transfer it back to the WordPad program. Suppose I create a shape here, and inside the shape, for example, I insert a picture. Okay, desktop. Suppose we want this picture. Now we want to bring this shape into the WordPad program. By clicking Close, the shape gets transferred here. Again, we can grab a new wrap for it. Here, Wrap to Ruler. So, directly, we transferred the exact object we created in Word to here. Or we could have done the work in other programs that were on my list. It was possible to have already created a file and then transfer it later. For example, let's say we might have already made a file in Excel or another program. Suppose we select this part here. Here, we have a file. We save the file. We tell it to save this for us on a desktop as Book 1. We save it. Close. What do we want to do with this file? We want to transfer it. Now, unlike before, we made it ourselves in the previous program. Now, the prepared file is there. We come and click on Insert. This time, we select this one. We click on Browse in the From File section. We say we have a file on the desktop called Book 1. We select it. Now, if I select this and check Display as Icon and click OK, that file will appear for us as a link. That means as soon as you click, it opens and shows us the file at that address. We say this is not what we want. It has been transferred in the form of a table. It's in the form of an icon, which is called information or icon. When the information is readable, it's called information. We say, import this as information. Again, we come and select the file. We don't make it an icon. Well, here it also has the link option. If the link is off, there will be no connection between the original file and the copy. If it's off. If it's on, there is a connection. Okay, for now, let's click OK so it brings it in for us. The signal file was transferred here. Now, since the link is off between them, if we go to the main program and then say, for example, make these 500s into 107s, and save it. Now if we close this, there shouldn't be any changes here, because it wasn't linked. But after this, we say that we want to bring this in as a link. We go here. We tell it to import the same file for us. OK, as a link. Let's click OK on this. By double-clicking, the file opens as well. We go inside the file. We say, let's build this again from scratch. In the play, we make some changes. We also bring in some design-related changes. We make it bold as well. Now, whenever changes are made, as soon as I click, any change I see, whether in the original file or the copy, will also appear in the WordPress program. And finally, dear friends, I ask that if these videos have been useful for you, please like the videos to support us and help the channel grow. Subscribe to the channel. Hope to see you in the next sessions. And goodbye.